Hello, family and friends. Seba Timer. We're back to of acrylic nail application. This is part 2. Now, I'm going to set this on top of here so that doesn't evaporate. Because I want to show you guys. Now, we got them all on. We got them all on. Now, I don't like the white, but they came in the kit. 500 of them. I'm going to use them. And eventually I'll go back to my stilettos because I love them so much more. And they fit my nails so much better because I do have mandarin nails and my nails curve. And I had trouble with this, with my, pointed fingers is what I'm trying to think of, because of such curve in there. I have a lot of trouble getting them on the flat nails on, where the mandarins kind of work with my curve. I mean, the stilettos work with my curve. But yeah, they're pretty much so all on there. And I just wanted to say quick, this that I used is the primer right up here on the nail bed. If you do get some on your skin, it's not the end of the world. Don't call, rescue units and panic. Wipe it off. I've gotten it on my skin. I've been fine. So, it's just you want to try to avoid it. Okay, so they're all on. So what I've done basically is I went through, because everybody knows that I have my natural nails. But if you could see here, I left one. See where you kind of see my natural nail right there coming through. So what I do is I just go through and I just foul, until, because you're not going to get nail tips that's going to fit you, especially if you are having a nail underneath. You can see my nails. And I cut these. My nails was at least as long, if not longer, than these. But I cut them back so much the other day. The reason you wonder, why are you wearing false nails when you've got your own long nails? I'm wearing them to protect my nails. I've gotten older. I don't know what's causing it. I have a couple that's recurring splits and they don't ever go away, and I'll always put some glue on them to kind of keep them from splitting, and sometimes that just don't help, and then I'll lose a chunk of nail. So see, my nails are very thick, so I can sit here and foul and foul and foul and foul and foul and foul, but I didn't leave too much. So that should be pretty good. So always look for that, and then you're going to see my natural nail regardless. Because especially on these curved ones, there's nothing I can do about it because they're there. I'm not cutting them all the way off. The reason I had broke this one is I was trying to pry a couple of beef patties apart and they were solid frozen, and I should have done better. And the phony nail and the natural nail both went. Boom, that was it, gone. That rarely happens. Most of the case, the phony nail pop off. It's done its job. I go redo my nail. Biggie wow wow. My natural nails are much stronger than these phony nails. And they're also much sharper. And that's why, another reason why I wear the artificial nails, because I get too many complaints from people. I don't mean to claw them, but you know damn good and well I'm going to draw blood somewhere. And it's just accidental. And I grab wrong, I misjudge, and I'll nail them. And this kind of saves other people that's around me, because these are nowhere near as sharp as what's underneath them. These things go flying off, what's underneath them is going to do the damage. Because I mean, they're extremely sharp and they're extremely thick, and I've seen the damages they've done. I've accidentally have gotten people, and it's like, oh my god. So this kind of prevents that. So, but at any rate, regardless, to heck with my natural nails. This is the point. You've got them on, And I've kind of cleaned up around, and I've kind of took off the rough point because I do like them a little bit rounded, you know, on the artificial nail. Even though they're square, I like them a little bit rounded. I took off that rough edge around right at the point here. And then I went back through and just ever so gently, you know, just made sure I had these kind of where I wanted them. Now, you don't foul on your natural nail bed. You're fouling on the artificial nail only when you're doing that. And kind of go up to the sideways so you can get that point that's going up in there, you know, fouled good, you know, and kind of lean in, but you don't want to get your natural nail. Okay, so does that kind of help you guys out a little bit? So we're at that point. I just wanted to touch base with that. Now, I prefer a number 8, and I like the flat tip on the thing. Now I'm not I'm doing basic acrylic nails, not gel ones. I have the stuff to do gels, but I like the basic old-fashioned acrylic. And this is the polymer powder, and since these bad boys are white, which I don't care for, but I'm going to use them. I'm going to use white, finish them out in white. And I've poured some of that in this container over here, just a little bit. And then here I have the actual the Maxima adhesive, and it's the actual acrylic part. So what you do, okay, I got my liquid, I got my powder, so I'm just going to dab my brush in there. What I like to do is make sure my brush is real soft, so I kind of get it in there, and then I really kind of drain this bad boy out a little bit, because I don't want too much, but I want it to make sure it's flexible. So now I'm going to re-dab. Just on that first one, I do it like that. Get a little bit of it, take a little off, and I'm going to go in. And so this is where I have problems because of vision. Now I got my powder on there, but it's a little bit too dry. So I'm going to bring it up with a little bit more, and just a little bit more of this until I get it to where I think I can work with it. Okay, I'm only going to do one now. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to start tapping this around. You guys got to turn with me this way. Okay. If you see a mess, I can't help that. But my vision is bad, and you don't have a lot of time to work with this. So I've got to start getting it kind of on there and quit flapping my gums, or I'm going to have an issue that I don't really want to deal with. So I just added a little bit more of the liquid because I want to kind of spread it out a little bit because it wasn't quite the way I wanted it. It's still not quite the way I want it. You want to go up to, but not over your cuticle. So I stay a little bit of a distance. And I am having a horrible eye day. And what I do, if I make an oops, I just go through. Are you with me? And I just go through and take that oops right out. So I'm going to get this wet again because it's getting too dry. I don't like working with the white at all. See, I gotta fill that. I want that to look solid. And it's not working for me. So I'm going to get my brush wet because it's getting just too stiff. I'm not happy with that. Yeah, I don't like the white. Be awesome for a French manicure, but you know, I've got them. I'm going to use them. And that's all there is to it. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here or not. I've got one spot right there that's just bothering me for some reason. It's like it's just not filling in. And I think I got it. I'm wanting to make sure I cover my corners pretty good there. And then I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more from where I filled in at the top, so that I know I've got this filled in pretty good. You can always get a little more water on the, or not water, whatever this acrylic base liquid is. And we just fill in and kind of drag down a little bit. I'm not going the whole length of the nail because all I'm working with is I want this to be like one solid piece. What I'm trying to do is bridge that gap. And I can kind of eyeball it and see that I pretty much so have got it. If I got a little bit of too much on one part, it's going to foul right off. Pretty much so. Now I gotta get this right up and close to me so I can, because I have such horrible vision, it's a wonder I can even do this anymore. If I can get it focused right in my field of vision, I'm pretty good, you know, pretty good with it. A little more polish, so I want to pull it down. Not polish, the acrylic liquid. And I'm going right back up over where I started. And all I'm doing is pulling down. Pretty much so. Now at this point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to kind of clean my brush up really good in there. Get anything off of it. Because I'm just doing one for the sake of, you know, showing you guys. Then what I'm going to go through is go through and finish them off. Now at this point, I always have a variety. I have my one that was kind of a fine medium. I have a heavy duty Voya. Whoa, I really screwed up. Heavy grit valve, and a super fine one. That's almost to the point of a buff. Okay. So I always make sure I have what I need handy. I'm not going to use the real gritty. I'm going to use the fine. Because this is dry. You know, this is already dry. So first thing I'm doing here is I'm going to go through here, kind of cleaning this oops up on my skin that I got it on, which will wear off real soon. But I'm just going to foul some of it off. And I do that too if I get, when I'm gluing. If I get, and if you see my mess, that's, I'm sorry about that, but that's the way it is. I've been studying a lot lately, and so I've got books and papers piled all over. So see, that pretty much so comes off. And that was just what was on, and I do the same thing if I get glue. I'll just take the rougher side and I'll just go through and, you know, I'll get most of that glue off of there if I get any glue from putting them on, you know, on my skin. And then eventually, yeah, I'll just pick off what little bits left. Okay, now that's dry. Now I'm going to take the finer side here. And I'm going to just kind of go across this with just some light, quick, and then I'm going to come up alongside and make sure I've got no sticking going on there. And then I'm going to get up. Be careful around your cuticle area because you don't want to, you know, be grinding on your cuticles. And then you, best thing, go by touch. Find out, Phil, if you can't see like me, I just touch. And I find out where those rough spots are. And I'll work it out, you know. So I'm just going through, and I had a really nasty one here that I didn't see and didn't catch in time before it hardened up. I think I got it. And I really want to make sure that they're pretty around my cuticle area, because I'm not doing my cuticle. I'm just doing this acrylic. And like I say, because I can't see well, but if you feel, you can always tell. Sometimes you need to come in at an angle, you know. And then I come in with my real fine one. After I know I've got the biggest part of it. Go up and down your sides, you know, so you know you got your sides kind of at an angle, you know. And then start working your way across, you know, this whole top area. Because I have a lot of people ask me, are those your nails or are they artificial nails? Because people don't know. But if you always look, I'm a smoker. My nails are yellowed from the smoke. So you can always tell where my nails are. Especially on these white ones. Like, you can't so much easily on the others, but on these, oh yeah, see that? Now, what I would probably do is go in with a white nail polish. For as long as I'm going to be using these, I might. And then I might just say, most likely, screw it, you know, it is what it is. That's if I was going to leave them white. I'm not going to. I'm going to paint them. We're going fall colors. So see, all I'm doing is kind of, because I don't want to fill nothing here. I want this as smooth as the baby's butt. You know? I don't want to fill anything. Alright, now I'm going to... Last thing I'm going to do is go through with my buffer and go on probably a lighter one like... Oh... I can't see. Coarse? No, we don't want coarse. Shine buffer. Let's go right before that. Smooth. Let's do smooth. I'm going to lose you guys, but then I'm just going to come through the whole thing in case I got somewhere, and I'm just going to smooth this whole thing out. Take my brush, wherever it went, my fantail brush. I'm going to brush this off, and pretty much so, there's my smooth as the baby's butt. The ridge is gone.